Remember Sailor. Let's bring in Corey Lewandowski, former Trump campaign manager and co-author of Let Trump Be Trump. Corey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I'm sure you watched every minute of this, and it was astounding. I mean, he doesn't think what he did was leaking, and he made that clear on several occasions. He even chuckled about it at one point.
You know, Brett's interview last night was really amazing for what it demonstrated. And this reminds me of a day where we were asking Bill Clinton, what is? He asked Jim Comey, what is a leak? And Jim Comey said, well, I didn't leak information. I gave information out that I wrote as the director of the FBI to a person to give it to the media. Every other person in America will call that a leak, but Jim Comey says, well, no, that's not a leak. I just gave it to a friend, a person who we now understand had a special government access pass to get into the FBI, a person who now we understand got information which was classified that those memorandums had to be returned back to the FBI for sensitivity reasons, for classification reasons. And Jim Comey, because he has this messiah complex, has decided what is classified and what isn't, and what should and shouldn't be out in the public domain. And that's everything that has been wrong with Jim Comey as the director of the FBI.
He also confirmed what FNC had been reporting, and Catherine Herridge doing excellent reporting on that. She immediately responded to the interview saying, well, he confirmed what we had been reporting, that these memos were more widely distributed by Comey than previously thought. It wasn't just his friend Daniel Richman. At least 3 people he distributed them to. He confirmed that last night.
Well, he did confirm that last night, and his argument is, which is such a fallacy, that this was his private memorandums, this was his private diary, except he wrote these on government computers, he used his government email addresses, he had a copy at the FBI, and then he said he kept the other copy in his safe at home, and they said, did you only give it to one other person? And at first it was a yes, now it's multiple people had it, and the reason he gave those documents out was very clear. He wanted a special counsel appointed, and he wanted Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General of the United States, removed from the investigation. And the only way he could do that was through the pressure of the American public, and that was Jim Comey's goal, was to have a special counsel put in place to show that Jim Comey, was right and everyone else is wrong. But the bottom line is the Inspector General, whose report is coming very soon, is going to clearly articulate, just like it did with his number 2 person, that Jim Comey has lied on multiple occasions, both as the director of the FBI and since he's been fired from that position.
There was also this moment when Brett pressed Comey about the dossier and about sharing exactly the same amount of information that he did with Obama and his inner circle as he would or did with Trump in his inner circle. Listen.
Is it fair to say that President Obama and his inner circle knew a lot more about the dossier and the scope of the investigation than President-elect Trump and his team?
No, I don't think that's fair at all.
You think that they were equal on as far as the briefing?
As far as I know, they knew the same set of facts, as did the leaders of Congress.
Corey?
Look, it's amazing. Jim Comey clearly has no idea what was taking place when he was the director of the FBI. Now he claims he hasn't read or understood the text message exchanges between 2 of his FBI agents. Andrew McCabe has been now accused by the IG of lying 3 times under oath, and now he's saying that to the best of his knowledge, both parties, both the Obama administration and then the Trump administration, had the same information. We know that that is not true. We also heard Jim Comey last night say he didn't know who paid for the dossier which was put together, although his signature is on a Pfizer application warrant to ask for a federal judge to spy on a U.S. citizen on domestic soil without knowing where that information came from. This is egregious at the highest levels.
He acknowledged those texts and said, all I can tell you is this: when I saw the texts, I was deeply disappointed in them, but I never saw any bias, any reflection, he said, of any kind of animus toward anybody. It was remarkable, Corey.
It's remarkable. Like the FBI had a quote-unquote insurance policy put in place in case Donald Trump won. Either he was aware of it or he was too obtuse and he shouldn't have never been the FBI director. And the other important thing that came out of Brett's interview, and I just want to touch on it very quickly, was he said if he hadn't been fired, even for all the things, the pejorative things he said about this president, he would still be serving in this capacity, even though he doesn't believe in the president, doesn't believe in the election results. And that's the type of man he is, a messiah complex who has to make sure that he's in charge of everything.
Well, hats off to Brett for the interview. Good stuff coming out of that. And Corey, great to have you react to it this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Veteran news anchor Tom Brokaw denying allegations of sexual misconduct. The former NBC nightly news anchor is accused of making unwanted sexual advances towards multiple women during the 90s, including former Fox News anchor Linda Vester, who worked as a correspondent for NBC when she says Brokaw crossed the line. Howard Kurtz is live in Washington with this story. Howie?
Good morning, Rick. Tom Brokaw is an icon of the news business, the face of NBC News for a quarter century, still a senior correspondent there. And Linda Vester has given her account now to Variety and the Washington Post. Variety saying it corroborated this with two friends she told at the time and looked at journal entries.